Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to my after report for yesterday's live event in Okagaiken. This is a live event that is run as part of the ongoing Manhunt live event series organized by CCP. Now, for people that don't play EVE Online, live events are special events that are run by the developer in EVE Online, where they take the role of a storyline character. And the aim of these events is to progress the story of EVE Online while giving the player base a chance to interact and to put their mark on the stories. In the current Manhunt series of live events, the story is that a group of dragoneurs, which are remnants of a military force from the dictatorship that has been toppled in the Caldari Empire, or in the Caldari state, I should say, to be correct, that have stolen a number of ships from the Caldari Navy, and in response to this, the Caldari Navy has put a bounty on their heads in order to incentivize the player base or the capsuleers to hunt them down and kill them. And so, as part of the event during an entire week, CCP will occasionally play those characters that have the bounties on their heads and provide with the player base with a chance to either go and kill them to claim the rewards, or if they would choose to do so, to defend them and to allow them to escape. Because of the nature of EVE Online, these live events actually have an open outcome, although there is always expected results, of course. In the special or extraordinary circumstance where the player base would actually decide that they would be on the side of these dragoneurs, it might be the result that they will escape and then no bounties would be paid. The current live events are actually a little bit special compared to the previous ones, because the bounties that were put on the heads of these dragoneurs are actually plex. Plex are tradable items in EVE Online that represent 30 days playtime, and so this is of course a very strong incentive for players to actually try and join this event. Things like doing the most damage in a certain ship class, getting the last hit on the carrier, or scooping the corpse and contracting that to someone from CCP are all things that give people the right to claim some of these Plex bounty rewards. As a result of this, of course, the current live events are pretty popular, especially in bigger and more organized groups, but more on that in a minute. Another thing that's actually different from the previous live events is that we are forced to take combat scanner probes in order to find the location of the current live events. So in previous events, the devs would always show up either on a station or close to a planet that would allow the players to just warp in to the place they would be and duke it out. But in these live events, for the first time, they actually go to like a safe spot somewhere that needs to be probed down, and this is actually something that we were not prepared for on day one, and it's the reason why I can only bring you guys the first after report here on day 3 of these Manhunt live events. So on day 1, actually the Pandemic Legion were pretty much the only group that was fully prepared for the events, and they totally dominated it, racking in all of the Plex rewards, all the possible bounties from that live event. And when we were prepared here on day 3, on day 2 was for the US time zone, and I was at my work when the event took place. But here on day 3 we were finally also prepared to probe down the location, which is what we did. And when we first arrived there, PL was already seriously in control of the field there, with a fleet of Apocalypse Navy issue ships with logistic support and some other ships mixed in, some Tech 3. I think there was also 1 or 2 Marauders in there, so a pretty powerful fleet, and they were just lazily shooting on the dreadnought that was present. So that was one of those death flown ships, was a dreadnought, a carrier, and a a Raven Navy issue. But yeah, the main aim from PL when they were holding the field there was just to chase anyone else that wanted their shots on the carrier away. So whether it was small individuals or smaller fleets, they were quickly chased away by the superior force of these Apocalypse Navy issues. And they were apparently in full control of the field, and everything seemed to be heading back to a repeat of day one, where PL would just basically dominate the entire event. But at one point it seemed that some people had learned, because Gorgon Empire warped in with an organized fleet of Ishtars with logistic support. They warped in at range and dropped their sentry drones. And at that point, of course, PL actually had something to contend with, and a cat and mouse, a chase between the slower PL battleship fleet and the nimble Ishtar fleet ensued. It was quite entertaining to see how PL was constantly trying to get better warpins in order to be able to destroy these Ishtars. They were successful from time to time. I did see Gorgon lose some Ishtars, but overall Gorgon actually constantly managed to slip away from PL's grasp, and it was a full chase and a nice display of fleet tactics during this event. After, I would say, about a little bit over an hour into the event, PL rang the bell. It was time to end things, and they started by destroying the dreadnought in very short order, I must say. In fact, it exploded before I could even start to fraps what was happening. And after that, they concentrated on the carrier, which was also destroyed very quickly. But, you know, it being day 3 of these events, it looks like some people were a little bit more prepared for what to do and what PL would bring. And it turns out that it's actually one of the Ishtars from Gorgon that has the last hit on the carrier, and thus he gets part of the bounties. It's also another pilot who is not affiliated with either of the two groups that managed to kill the bot, which is another one of those possibilities to claim some of the bounties. And so yeah, it was not as one-sided as what we saw on day 1. There was actually someone that made life difficult for PL in an Ishtar fleet, and I do think it shows that in case of such events, preparation is key. And although on day 1, you know, there were some people complaining that this was completely a one-sided thing because PL dominated so badly, it turns out that even a smaller force with a good idea, such as this Ishtar fleet with sentry drones, can actually put their mark on these events as well and get away with some of the rewards too. So that was, in my opinion, very nice to see. Yeah, that it's not just a bigger guy that's going to rake in everything. Even a small individual that's well prepared actually managed to get the pot and thus claim some bounties that way as well. I'm not sure how he did it. It was in a destroyer, so he must have been like completely fitted only for this purpose. I would guess like a cloak and then all sensor boosters, just to be able to quickly lock the capsule and then destroy it. But yeah, he actually managed to do it completely solo, which in my opinion is pretty damn impressive. Overall, I think that means that this event was quite well run and pretty enjoyable for everyone involved. I must say I liked it very much myself as well, just being able to fraps it, see all of the fleet movements happen and things like that. I really thought this event was very nicely run, and so yeah, I would highly recommend anyone else that is like in doubt over whether or not they should join these events to actually give it a shot. Of course, if you're going in solo or in a very small group, I would recommend that you fit a cloaking device on there. But yeah, there's actually a Wyvern kill mail with your name on it that's waiting for you if you choose to risk joining these live events, and I would highly recommend anyone that plays EVE Online to actually give them a shot. Just keep an eye on the live events Twitter or the live events in-game channel, and you'll find your way there. Anyways, that's it for this after report, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.